Namaste. Is that a yoga term? No idea. Give you a minute or two to join and then get talking to me, folks. Let me know who's in desperate need of a stretch out. Nobody by the looks of it. Just me. Anybody? Slow starter. Oh, one person. That's a good start. At least I got one. Thought it was just going to be me and the foam roller this evening. So, who's with me? Sarah! Alright, Bab. Just looks like it's you and me at the moment. Hope you got a roller. Just chit chat away. It's like all 3 people are watching now. I don't know who they are, but at least there's 3. Are you watching to actually take part, guys? Are you hoping for a stand-up comedian set? Oh, that would be my sister. Oh, Peggy's watching. Oh, I've lost 2. How's that happened? How has that happened? So, who's stretching with me? Who's not stretching with me? Who's staying? Who's going? Who what? Who what, when, where, how? Anybody? One person. Oh, 2 people. Viewing figures are going through the roof right now. Guys, do you want to talk to me or not? Come on. Come on. 2 people. Tough crowd, guys. Tough crowd. Come on. I know really we should be getting into a very chilled, relaxed atmosphere. The music that's about will be played during this session. It's very relaxing. So if you do nod off, don't worry. I'll try not to. Oh, Ramina's here. What's going on? 12 minutes past. Are we all cheery today? Anybody? Come on, guys, there's normally a little bit more interaction than this. Who is the one and only person who stuck with me? Is it because it's a Friday night, the sun's shining, and everybody's out having a barbecue? It's Peggy, so it's me and you, Peggy. If you want to chat to me, like, type away whilst we stretch out, that'll be fine. You go for it. Oh, who else has joined us? Let's see if they're more interactive. I reckon everybody's conspired and they're all having their socially distanced barbecues. Oh, here we go. Andrea's here as well. Are you here and watching? Watching and stretching, or just watching? Because if you're just watching, I'd say there's probably better things to do with 45 minutes of your life. You will stretch tomorrow. Okay, well, oh, 6 people now. Oh, this is better. Give me 2 minutes, I need to run upstairs for my phone charger. Okay, Hannah. It's right, you have got 2 minutes as well. Laura's here. Are we all in desperate need of stretching, guys, or are we maintaining ourselves quite well? You're still in your bikini. Okay, yeah. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to get us in downward dog or anything, so it's quite a lot of floor-based stuff this evening. I don't know whether that'll make a difference to you. Got 1 more minute anyway. We've got some soothing music. It's as if I need to change my voice. Maybe go Swedish. Nope, maybe not. Right, 1 minute, folks, and then we're going to get our stretch on. Get your stretch on. So I'm getting pumped for a stretch class. Yeah. It's not really something to get pumped about, is it? We should be getting, it's the opposite of pumped. Anyway, definitely wouldn't make it in yoga school, would I? I'm going to press me a little music and then we'll get knee stretch after Anna's session. Oh, you've just done that, good. I look brown, brilliant, thanks. I've been working hard on that. Right, okay, so what I want you to do, we're going to start in child's pose, and this is purposefully done. I'm not lost already, so don't panic. Push your fingertips away from you and drop your chest down towards the ground. Okay, so we're going to start off nice and low and just take some nice control breaths. And just try and feel your body relax off a little bit. So any tension in your body, try not to force it down towards the ground. Just let gravity do what it's got to do and relax. Even to drop your head on the floor if you want to as well. From there, all I want you to do is just take one arm behind you, so just lay it on the floor and just walk that other hand a little bit further away from you, just to get the length down to one side of your body. And then relax your other arm down. So I'm feeling a little bit more of a stretch on my right side, and that's the same side that I've got my arm overhead or above head. Relax that arm back and swap. So bring your left arm through the opposite one and walk the fingertips away from you. That arm back, and from there hold on to your hands and push them up above your head, well, towards the ceiling, not necessarily overhead. Mine are definitely not going to do that. I feel a bit of release in the shoulders, and then relax the arms down again and do it again. So drive the palms of your hands towards the ceiling. One more time, so push up and then relax them down. Bring the arms back in front of you and reach them overhead again, and just walk both of your fingertips away from you. This time I want you to try and push your forearms down to the ground. Push your chest a little bit lower as well. Feel the chest release as well as the shoulders, a little bit in the triceps. And then slowly just bring your arms towards you. From there, all I want you to do is get into the plank position. So hands directly underneath your shoulders, nice flat straight line, and just hold that plank position. And then what we'll do is we'll ease off into it. So from here, bring one foot to outside of your hand and just keep a nice length in your body. So you've got a nice 90-degree bend on that front leg, or as close to as you possibly can. If you want to, just drop that back knee, otherwise you can stay with it up. Push your hips down towards the ground and feel the hip flexor open up on the straight leg side. Slowly release that foot back, keep the length in your body, hold that plank position, and then bring the other foot to outside your hand. Okay, so keep a nice length in the body and then just push those hips down towards the ground, feel the hip flexor. From there, back into plank position, hold the plank, and you just slowly drop off from that tricep dip. Relax the feet, and then push the heels of the hands and drive into a lower back release. Look towards the ceiling, length of the spine. And then relax it down. And then do it again. So nice smooth push back. From there, relax it off. Put your hands just outside the shoulders and push up into that push-up position with your wide hands. Okay, this time what I want you to do is bring your foot to the inside of your hands. If you can, bring it to the inside of your hand, okay? So my knee is pretty much resting in the armpit. Now I can feel it in both hip flexors in this position. Remember, it's up to you. You can always drop that back knee if you want to. Slowly release that out and then bring the other foot through. So literally my knees coming into that armpit. Keep a nice flat back. Remember, you can drop that knee if you need to. From there, take that foot back out, lower yourself back down again, and then push back into child's pose. So just nice slow releases so far of the lower body and now the upper body. From there, if you get into all four kneeling position, and then what I want you to do is I want you to bring one leg through into like a hurdle stretch. So I've got a 90-degree bend on that leg. I'm going to take this length of my back leg and I'm just going to sit into it, okay? So I've got 90-degree, shin is parallel to the front, and I'm just sitting down into it, okay? Take your hands wide to support and keep your chest lifted for the time being. You should feel a release in the back glute. So not the straight side, the opposite side. Keep the chest proud to begin with, and just again sink into it gradually. You should feel that all in that leg there. Yeah, been bumped off. Not literally, I'm still here. Right, slowly take that leg back out and then bring the other one through. So a nice 90-degree bend on the front leg, take the length in the back leg, take your arms wide to support. Chest stays lifted. And how many of you are feeling it? Can you feel it right in there, in that glute, and also a little bit in the back of the hamstring there? Again, whilst you're in holding positions, if you want to comment to say there's any specific areas you want to focus on, please. Always happy to kind of go off script and hit the areas that you're keen to stretch out. Bring it back in. Right, from there, I'm going to go to face you, okay? We're going to take one leg out to the side, nice long length in that leg, okay? So again, stretching out the whole of that inner thigh. We're going to build ourselves up until we get into close to a box split. Now remember, don't worry, I can't do the splits, so I will not be doing the splits. We're going to try and work to get a little bit more mobility, a little bit more length of the hamstrings safely. So at the moment, I'm just using my hands as just a point so I don't overbalance, but I'm pushing my hips down towards the ground to really get the tension released in that inner thigh. All I want you to do now is just ease it off and swap sides. So ease it off and swap sides. Is it majority of you guys, is it legs that you tend to want to focus on? Again, whilst you're kind of holding these positions, get tapping away. Let me know if there's anything in particular. Right, from here, what I want you to do, we're going to go into more of a squat position, but I'm going to take one leg out, I'm going to point it towards the ceiling, okay? So when I say a squat position, I mean you're actually on one foot. Toes pointing towards the ceiling, and again, just feel the legs. Let gravity take the leg down, don't push down on your knee, so just relax it off. Everything a chance, not to rush, just ease it off. Come back, so both feet in, and then take the other leg out to the side. You have a cider in your hand instead. Well, if you neck the cider, you probably think you can do the split, so you're probably best just to hold off on that one, Hannah. Right, from here, both feet underneath you again. You can do it from a more standing position if you want to. I'm going to put my hands under my shoulders and I'm just going to go into a box split. Now, don't go too low to begin with. Just get to a point where you feel semi-comfortable. And when I say comfortable, you should feel the release on the inner thighs, but don't force it, okay? So taking a nice wide stance to begin with, and then what we'll do, bit at a time, we're going to ease our feet out a little bit wider. But for right now, what I want you to do is I want you to push your butt towards the back, and I want you to rock forward a touch, okay? Nice, slow, controlled movements, just to get those hamstrings a little bit friendlier. Don't want to force it. Now when you feel like you're able to and a bit more comfortable, just take it a little bit wider. So I'm just creeping my feet a fraction wider. If you're feeling it uncomfortable and it's too much discomfort, please don't go any wider. Just get to the point where you can start to feel things activate and then release. So now I can feel, as well as the inner thigh, I'm feeling it start to hit my hip flexor, okay? So I know I'm going to just move slowly, just to gradually get them on my side before I either try and push it a little bit more or I'm at maximum. I think I'm pretty close to maximum. I do want to be able to walk tomorrow. So just easing forward and backwards slowly. Okay, now what you can do is take your body weight forward a little bit more to the point where you can drop to your elbows. Okay, so get to the point where you can drop to your elbows. And then from there you might be able to walk just a touch more. Oh, I don't know whether I'm going to get back up though, that would be the interesting part. So just see how you're getting on. Hold it there. So we do a little bit more holding than what we normally do, just to get the most out of each position. Now it's really giving my hip flexors a bit of an opportunity to, well, engage and hopefully release. From there I'm just going to lift back up, push my body weight backwards. Walking my feet in a touch more now, so I'm not going to go wider, I'm bringing them a little bit closer in towards me. Don't want to push it. Can feel that, you can definitely feel that thing, yeah. Great. Hopefully a good release, not too painful. Right, bring them in a little bit more, and if you can, keep walking in to the point where you feel like your hands are about to lift off the floor. So at the moment, my knees are still bent, and my hands are still flat on the floor. I'm going to hold that position, okay? So hold that position and sit into it. Lift your chest as much as you can, but without compromising taking your hands off the floor. So I want your hands on the floor. Now I'm really grounding myself in my heels, not to the point where I'm tipping over backwards, but I can feel my weight, the whole of my body is pushing down through my heels. Okay, so I'm quite centered. From there, if you want to loop your hands behind you, and just stay in this position. So I'm not resting on anything, I'm just staying in this position here. Feeling it in your quads and your calves. And just releasing the back round. So slowly going to walk my feet back out again. Walking my feet back out bit by bit. Let's Let's see if I can get any wider. Again, just go to the point where you're at your maximum and hold that stretch. And that's allowed me to get a little bit wider this time, but again, don't push it. Big one for hamstrings. If you're doing a lot of running or cycling, your legs are going to get absolutely battered. So the key is going to be a lot of calf stretch, a lot of hamstring stretch, quads. So important just to keep us moving. Right, again, I want you to walk out slowly, drop to your elbows. Just push your body weight forward and then slowly backwards. So forwards and then backwards. I'm going to go back onto my hands, and this time I'm going to walk my hands a little bit further away from me. So I tilt forwards, I'm going to lift onto my toes, okay? Hold the stretch there if you can. It's about core control as well. Don't worry if you can't, just do the best you can. And then relax back so your feet are flat on the floor. And then onto your heels. So rock forward, onto your toes. And then rock back onto your heels. Oh, can you hear my shoulders cracking? And then my toes. Oh. Right, flat foot, bring your hands back under your shoulders, walk your knees in, or your feet in, until the point where they're almost underneath your shoulders, and stay low. But this time you can pop your chest up a little bit. So we're going to stay seated in this squat, so put your arms in front of you, sitting in that low squat. Then take your arms wide. And then in front of you, and then wide. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together as you start to take a wide behind you. So wide, and then narrow, and then place your hands down. Slowly ease off back onto your knees so you can drop down to the ground. Good job, guys. So that's a big block on legs. A little bit of shoulders whilst we're down there as well. Okay, so what I want you to do now, sit down, you can cross your legs, okay, and we'll just do a little bit of a upper back and shoulder and chest release. So take your arms wide behind you, push your chest forward. So arms looped behind you, chest forward. Squeeze the shoulders up, back and down, and then relax them off, okay? And do it again. So squeeze the shoulders up, back and down, and then relax it off. And then bring one arm across the face of your body, and just put a little bit of pressure and pull it towards you. Should feel like a little bit in the delt, so the shoulder. And then once you've done the one side, ease off, change sides. From there, take one arm up and over, tricep stretch. So I'm reaching down between my shoulder blades. Again, give me a little bit of pull on that elbow just to release the back of the arm, the tricep. And then once you've done that, change sides. Now we've got a few lower back releases which you'll have done before. So what I want you to do now, take your legs to 90 degrees, like that. You're going to let them drop to one side, and you're going to let your arms drop to the opposite side. So arms are going to go one way, legs are going to go the other, and then what you're hopefully going to achieve is this shoulder on the opposite side to your legs will touch the floor, depending on how tight everything is. I have got 15 centimetres away from the floor, I'd guess that. So I've got really tight shoulders. Just relax as much as you possibly can. Ease back to 90 degrees from there. and then roll over, so the opposite side. Opposite legs, opposite arms. Your hamstrings are killing you, Wendy, oh no. My calves are what are getting battered at the moment. Well, that's a lot more relaxed on this side, I'm telling you that much. Right, back to 90. Relax the legs off completely. Take your arms overhead and just get a full body release to begin with. So just relaxing everything. Take all the tension out of your arms and your legs and just let them rest. Right, from there, what you're going to do is you're going to put your legs back to 90 degrees. You're going to put one ankle on top of the opposite knee. Scoot through and draw that knee towards your chest. Okay? So pull it in nice and tight. And again, you should feel that all in the lower body. Relax the shoulders down to the ground if you want to. How many of you take the time to stretch off after each session? If you're anything like me, you're not very good at it. I don't. It's the world's worst. I am though, using my foam roller a little bit more. Relax those legs off and then change sides. So pull that knee in towards your shoulder, chest. Feeling that in my glute on my opposite sides of the leg I've got hold of. So again, you'll find out what areas need a little bit more work on. From there, relax your legs off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to a seated position. I was going to try this, I don't know whether I will or not. It used to be an old judo stretch I used to do. I might do that at the end if it goes horribly wrong, we'll see what happens. Okay, from here, this is the one I absolutely despise, but it is really good for releasing hip flexors. So feet stay flat on the floor, but you turn them out so your toes are pointing up in opposite directions away from you. Take your knees nice and wide, drop the chest down, so you're on your elbows and you're pushing your hips down towards the ground. It is a really good hip flexor release. It's not nice, but it does work. Now I'm going to push my butt towards the door, so behind me. So I'm just going to push away a little bit, not too much because that is vile. And it should be hitting right in those hip flexors there. Again, let me know how you're feeling about it. I'm not overly impressed by it, but it does the job. Got some calf stretches coming your way shortly. Relax off onto your elbows again. So just take your body weight forward just to take a little bit of pressure out of those hip flexors, and then push back again. So push back again. What do we think of the music, guys? I'm thinking we're kind of sitting next to the ocean somewhere, waiting for some seafood. Oh, that's not nice. So relax, take your body weight onto your elbows and push away from you, away from your feet, legs, and then just rock back into it. You don't have to push it too hard back into it. Team, from there, what I want you to do is I want you to bring one knee in, and again take the one leg out. Okay, stay low. So stay as low as you can. Try and drop your chest down as low as you can and get just that little bit more out of that. Focusing massively on the legs today, guys. So I hope the majority of us need the legs. So you need upper body. Watch an old one. Bring that knee underneath you, stay low, and then change sides. Now with calves, if you're doing a lot of running, again if you're on the bike, it's really getting into the back of your calf, like it feels like they're getting cramped and tight, like someone's got a grip on them. We'll do a few stretches out body weight, but we've got the foam rollers which I'll introduce at the end of this. It's just taking time to work through each and every muscle. That's giving you a little bit of aggro. Right, take a seat. What I want you to do now, reach for your toes and just nice and carefully pull them towards you. Try and drop your chest as low as you possibly can. If you were ever like me as a kid, you always suffered from cramp and this was your go-to stretch. You can do them one at a time if you want to. If you're anything like me again, my hands are slipping off my toes. Now from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to reach underneath to the sole of my feet. I'm just going to try and drop my chest down a little bit lower. Pull yourself steady towards your feet. You'll feel it in the hamstrings. And then from there, all I want you to do, take one leg over and basically turn away from that front knee. So turn away from that front knee. And feel that in your shoulders and back, a little bit in the glute as well. Ease off, back to the front, change legs. So cross one leg over, throw yourself over the front of that knee and turn into it. Again, feeling that across my shoulders, also feeling it in my obliques a touch, but a little bit of a release in the glute too. Relax it off. Take the lie down again, let's get the full body stretching. So a nice long lie down, get the full length of your body. Take a few deep breaths. Slowly sit yourself back up. So put your hands just in line with your hips and take a slow sit up. Right, almost ready to get the foam roller out, guys. Just give yourself a little bit of an ease off. So take your arms nice and wide and then relax them down. Last couple of stretches, and then if you haven't got a foam roller, you can begin your Friday night. Or if you want to hang about and watch me roll around the floor, you're more than welcome to. You can join in too. Just push the last one up towards the ceiling. And then ease it down from there. So guys, I'm going to give you a minute just to give yourself a second. If you want to take a little bit of water on, by all means go for it. And if you've got anything that you want to work through with this foam roller, again, now's a good time just to drop it in the comments. I'm going to be rolling out my calves, so I'll show you how to roll out the calves as effectively as you possibly can. For those of you who aren't necessarily needing to release their calves, you can use the same principle on any big block of muscle, okay? So if you wanted to, if you'd rather work on your hamstrings, at the top of your hamstrings, by all means go for it. I'm going to start lower to begin with. We have done this quite a bit, to be fair, and it's mainly legs that we do hit. So I'll do calves to begin with. I'll try and show you a little bit more of how to release upper body too, because it is valuable. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to place it just underneath the calf, just the top area there, and I'm going to begin with by just carefully rolling all the way up and all the way down, just to see if there's anywhere that's particularly giving me a little bit of jip. If I find an area, then what I'll do is I'll spend a bit more time on it. So from there, all I'll do is I'll just turn a fraction, and I'll do exactly the same thing, rolling up and down until I can feel a point that maybe needs that work on. So if you just do exactly the same as well, if you find a point, so at the moment I found one here, that's not pleasant, okay? So what I'm going to do is once I've found that point, I'm just going to put a touch more weight on it, not to the point where I'm squealing, but I'm going to stay on that point, okay? So I'm not going to relax off it, I'm just going to stay with my foot pointing in the direction where I've found my issue, and then what I'll do is I'll just dip in and out of it, okay? So I'm just going to turn towards it, then I'm going to just turn away from it, okay? So nice and slowly, I'm going to turn into it and away from it. If I can't feel it anymore, either problem solved or it's moved. So what you've got to do, you've just got to keep slowly moving, get that turn, and it's moving a little bit lower down my calf now. It takes time, this doesn't happen overnight, guys, so what you'll have to do is just don't spend like an hour on one point. Spend a couple of minutes on it, just to give it a chance to ease off, and that foam roller is working into the muscle tissue, just trying to release a few knots, but you'll have to do it on a regular basis. Okay, so once you've checked one out, again I'm going to turn towards me, so I'm going to try and do the inner part of my calf now. That feels even tighter. So what you might want to do is just roll up and down it nice and slowly. If you're not feeling anything and what you want to do is put a little bit more pressure in, what you can do is you can cross one foot on top of the other and you can put more weight on it. But if your legs are tender already, you don't need to do that just yet, okay? So if they're really tender, just spend the body weight or the weight of one leg. Don't need to put two legs into play, because then you will scream. So I'm going to check the other one out. I won't spend all my time on it because again, you don't want to watch me roll my calves out for half an hour now, do you? Doesn't make the most entertaining way to spend a Friday night. So you know that calf doesn't feel anywhere near as bad as my other one. Right, when it comes to joints, we don't roll over the joints. But what you might find is that this whole area here is really tight. That could be because the surrounding muscles have got knots in, they're tight, or it could be that, you know, there's just little bits and pieces that need ironing out. Don't put your body weight on this, but what you can do, rest the back of the knee, so the crook of the knee, on top of that foam roller. And again, all I'll do is I will slowly take my rotation through my foot one way, and then rotate through the other, but I'm literally not levering off that foam roller. But that just gives me a chance just to ease off and just see if there's anything there that may be pulling this knee out of place. Okay, so again, make sure you do both sides. Don't be jumping up and down on the thing. Well, there we go. And sometimes what you'll feel is you'll feel like things slip. Okay, again, it's not the most pleasant of feelings, but it is natural, so don't panic. Just be careful with it. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to bore you all with lower body because it can take a whole lot of work. So here's some upper body stretches that you can do with your foam roller. If you want to stretch out a little bit your lats, so the back and kind of all this area running down the back here, what you can do, again, it's not pleasant, but literally stick it almost in the armpit. So I'm going to lean on it, so it's in my armpit here, and then slowly what I'll do is my arm, I'll slowly lift and take it up above my head. Oh, I can feel that now, that's right in the back of my shoulder. And I'll stay there, okay? Is there a way of doing the lower back without having to hold yourself?
Just a moment. Go ahead.
Didn't ask you anything, Siri. Without having to hold yourself up in backward position. Can't remember what it's called when your arms and legs stay in one position. Oh, like when you do that, when you're pushing yourself off the floor. Lower back, sorry, child's pose. Child's pose? Yeah, you can do it when you're standing. You could always just literally reach down for your toes from a standing position, or you could be standing and then reach and arch your back. That's another way you could do it from a standing position. So Can anyone feel that? Again, what you want to do is once you've released off, you can bring that arm in front of you, and then again to gradually take it overhead. Oh. So yeah, Hannah, if you wanted to do your lower back, what you could do is from a standing position, just slowly reach down for your toes. It will release hamstrings as well, or reach up and then arch your back. So, oh, that's lovely, that one is away from you. Okay, so from that side, what I'll do is I'll change over. Again, you haven't got to put full body weight on this in the slightest. It's not, oh, that one's lovely. So if you've done a lot of shoulder training and they're really tight, then this one is really valuable. So slowly I'm just lifting my arm up. Again, you can move it in all sorts of different positions until you either feel a release, or you might be one of the lucky ones and nothing needs to be released off. Oh, that one does though. Cool. So it's just slow and steady movements. Is anyone feeling the releases at all? Are you doing the same as me, or are you doing your own thing? What do we reckon? Or are we in that much distress that we've given up on it? Right, okay, so that's bits done now. Upper back, again, don't rest your neck on a thing. So what I want to do is I want to put my upper back on the foam roller, and this time what I'll do is I'll lift. So I'm going to lift, and I'll take my arms up overhead, and I'm just going to slowly move forward and backwards. Again, you may find a few knots. If you do, what you want to do is just slowly ease in and away from it. And again, you can just make little movements. Don't need to be rolling under any speed or anything like that. And you may want to put your weight on one side just to really check it out. There's a good one. And then you may want to turn and twist and do it on the other side from there. I never find upper body as worse to roll out as lower body. Lower body always seems to be way more taxing. So this can be quite therapeutic for some of us. Well done, Han, just for giving it a go. Right, everyone's favourite. Let's do a quick glute release and then you'll be free to go. So again, you can do one butt cheek at a time if you wanted to. So sit on it basically. If you want to put a bit more load into that, you can always cross one leg on top of the other. Okay, and all I'm doing, there's a lovely knot there, is once I've found one, stay on it. Oh, pleasant. And then just slow little movements. So I'm just, probably really subtle, can't see all that much. I'm sitting more upright, and I'm just going to tilt into it a little bit more. Oh, that's vital. You can see how much work needs to be done, guys. We train our bodies really hard, so we shouldn't be surprised at how hard this really is. It's the bit that nobody likes to do. That is vile. Well, I found a really good one. So if you find one that's really not wanting to budge, what you can do is slowly take that leg away from you, and then slowly bring it back into you. It should ease off. Don't do it under any speed whatsoever. It's a really good one. If anyone's ever suffering with like a shooting pain down the back of their leg, and a lot of people think sciatica, it may not be sciatica, it could well be, or it could be a really tight knot in your butt, in your glutes. This one saved me a whole lot of trouble because I went lame. I had a really, really lame leg, and this was vile, but it did do the trick. So once you've done one side, excuse me, do the other. Oh, there's the other one. Don't get me wrong, it's not the nicest of your feelings at all. When most of us think, oh, a lovely massage. Meh. Not if you're having sports massage. Not if you're on a foam roller. Right team, we're going to give it coming to a close now. I hope you've all stretched out a little bit. I hope that you've all had a really good week. Don't forget that Saturday night, or Saturday, is a non-live day, but there's loads that you can be doing. Don't forget you've got the YouTube channel, so flick through that if you want anything to keep you occupied. Drop a comment in, or if there's anything that you're kind of thinking, I'd love to do this, that, the other, because you've got some people on hand who will be able to help you out. But look forward to the Sunday lives, and stay safe, guys. Have a very pleasant Friday. I love how I have to crawl to the camera. Laters.